Hi, folks, and welcome to Baseball Tonight along with Peter Gammons. I'm Carl Ravitch. You watched ESPN Sunday night. You saw Mike Mussina come within one strike of pitching a perfect game. Well, Monday night, if you watched ESPN's game between the Cardinals and the Padres, you saw the rookie Bud Smith take a no-hitter into the ninth inning. Would he get it? Indeed he would, folks. The third of this season. Let's show you how he was able to accomplish his history. In the first against the Padres, who, oh, by the way, have been no-hit this season already. Albert Pujols gives him some run support. A two-run Jimmy Jack, his 32nd. It was 2-zip. Hi, Mr. Gammons. The Padres can't score. What happened to him?
Well, I mean, this is a guy, 84, 87 miles an hour, but he just pitches perfectly. There, he's spotting his fastball all over. You know, one thing he does, Carl, he really gets the ball in well on right-handed hitters. There, fastball in on Trammell and a great changeup. Little weak ground ball, but he's got great command and angle on that fastball in the inner part of the plate to right-handers.
The Padres a little shell-shocked by left-handers. Randy Johnson over the weekend, and now Bud Smith. Ricky steals second easily, his 20th steal of the year. 23rd time in his career he's gone for 20. Polanco, he goes to second, and the throw goes all the way into center field. He's going to come all the way around to score. Cardinals go up by a score of 3-0. In the fifth, same score. Peter talked about it. He located his fastball. He also worked a changeup in. Ryan Klesko pops out to right. J.D. Drew. This is a great play with two down. It ends the inning and takes Klesko out of the rotation. No-hitter through 6. Nevin in the 7th. First out. 6 times, Peter. We saw this Padre team 4 times they've gone.
Now, when that went off the bat, I said, but.
4 times into the 6th this year without a hit.
Which is amazing because they're third in the league in runs.
A good hitting team is exactly right. Here we go with a ground ball to third. 1 down in the 8th. Tony Gwynn comes up, pinch hitting. Hudson rookie field with Tony Gwynn at the plate with all those batting titles. Renteria came up big late in this game. A ground out to short, 2 outs. Wiki. Nope, pinch hitting Wiki Gonzalez unable to get it done. A no-hitter for Bud Smith through 8. Last Cardinal rookie to go a no-hitter was Jose Jimenez. That was in '99. There's McGuire, perhaps trying to keep the rook a little loose. Low and on the hands, a lot of thoughts. Went 15-2 in the minors last year. A couple of 7-inning no-hitters last year in the minors. There's 1 out. Ryan Klesko comes up with a man on first. After a walk, he stole second, and Klesko to Renteria. Tough hop, gets him. There were 2 down, and Phil Nevin, who earlier this year ended a game, a no-hitter by the Padres off A.J. Burnett, ends another one. Bud Smith fielding his position, and a remarkable performance for the 21-year-old rookie. Peter, the presence to be ready to field your position.
Well, he does a lot of little things well. I mean, that's as he roared through their system last year. Dyer Miller, Bill Campbell, their minor league pitching instructor, said this is a complete pitcher, ready to go. A 17-2 record while going through the minor leagues. It was sort of typical of that. But it's amazing. The Padres, last 22 innings, have 4 hits.
No hit at home for the 2nd time this season. Nevin making the last out in both. Bud Smith in his 11th Major League start, his 4th Major League win. Bob Carpenter called it.
With us, Bud trying to catch his breath after a couple of quick interviews. And Bud, you had 2 of these 7-inning variety in the minor leagues. Does anything compare with what you're feeling right now?
Oh, no, nothing compares to this. That blows it out of the water. I mean, this was a 9-inning game up here. Those are 7-inning games down there. It means nothing.
Bud, you had a strikeout in each of the first 7 innings. You didn't have any the last 2, but you retired everybody on ground balls. Was that your game plan?
Yeah, I think just keeping the ball down and using my defense and just keeping off-speed pitches in and keeping the ball on both sides of the plate.
You faced the Padres in your last start, and things didn't go real well. Normally, the more a hitter sees a pitcher, the bigger advantage they have, but it was the other way around for you tonight.
Yeah, definitely. First time they had the better half of me, and this time I was able to get ahead of them. So that second time around was a little bit better for me.
A big hug from Dave Duncan at the end of the ball game when you walked off the mound. How much has he helped you?
Oh, tremendously. I mean, I've come a long way since I've been up here, and just, I mean, he's helped me to know positive things to say, and just he's always been there by my side, working with me.
Hey, Bud, as we got to the latter innings there, we saw you on the bench in the ninth, and with the call-ups, the dugout's a little more crowded than it normally is, and you were right next to Mark McGwire. We saw the two of you chatting. Is there anything about that conversation you can share with us, and did it help you relax?
Oh, I mean, we were just talking about, actually, just talking about a hit of his that got taken away with their plane in the hole there, and we were just basically talking about another hit that got taken away, and how they always play him right there to pull, and we were just messing around, joking about that. We weren't even talking about pitching.
So the big guy was just trying to take your attention off the no-hitter.
It worked.
Hey, Bud, congratulations. Third Cardinal rookie no-hitter, 9th in franchise history, a franchise with wonderful tradition, and you added to it tonight.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's just special, and just feel great right now.
Go get your shower, buddy.
Appreciate it.
That's Bud Smith with the no-hitter tonight. Another Cardinal rookie, 2 years after that of Jose Jimenez. And guys, back to you in the studio now.
Hi, Bob Carpenter, Rick Sutcliffe, thank you very much for calling that game on ESPN. Certainly very exciting. You look at the rookie no-hitter since 1975. Not only, you know, I guess it's obviously when you're a rookie, you're young, but since World War II, only Vida Blue and Wilson Alvarez, younger than Bud Smith, getting it done.
That's amazing. What the poise. First of all, Carl, we're seeing an amazing group of young left-handed pitchers. I mean, Mulder, Zito, and Burley all started in the minor leagues last year, and they're three of the best pitchers in baseball. And this kid, I mean, you know, they talked about the two starts that weren't too good before this, but he's got 11 major league starts. They've scored more than 3 earned runs off him in 2 of them. And that's pretty darn good.
Not only that, I mean, you can see the Cardinal plan. Obviously, Ankiel was there to come out and celebrate, but you can see when Bud Smith comes up and pitches this way, Ankiel is on that rotation. They obviously have Kyle, and they have other guys who are successful. You can see what they were working towards. But in this game, he kept them off balance. As you mentioned, his poise, he's very athletic. And even late in the game at the plate, he was a tough out.
Well, he's a very good athlete, but he really impressed me, the fact that he can command both sides of the plate as well as he does, and change up, and at times, great curveball. Threw a great backdoor curveball to Klesko in the 9th inning. But there you see him inside. Just keep wheeling with that fastball. You know, and it looks about 92, 84, 85, 86. A great changeup. And as I said, the curveball when he had to throw it. When he got in the jam and got behind Klesko in the 9th inning, he backdoored a curveball that looked like it just changed the whole specter of the game. I mean, just Klesko's whole at bat was then thrown out the window.
Padres have to begin shell-shocked the way they've gone. This is the 3rd no-hitter this year. Burnett did it to the Padres earlier. Nomo for the Red Sox also with a no-hitter. We'll talk about the Red Sox and their mess that's going on in Boston in a little bit. For the Cardinals, a very big win. They're not thinking about the wild card. They're thinking about winning their division. But as the wild card goes, yeah, they still have to chase a couple of teams, and the Giants are one of them. Day game, Jason Jennings. Peter touched on the great young lefties. There are some great young starters out there. You talk about Jason Jennings, he certainly needs to be mentioned.
Well, Jason Jennings and Chacon, they get Ellerton back, Thompson. I mean, this is the Rockies are starting to put together a pretty good young pitching set. There he loses Kirk Reeder, but he strikes out Marvin Bernard with a curveball. He's got Barry Bonds in the on-deck circle. That's not exactly a sight you want to see. But comes back, gets Ramon Martinez. 6-4-3 double play. Gets out of the inning. 7 innings, 3 hits.
And a good sinker, Peter. 11 ground ball outs. Here's Todd Helton smacking the ball down the right field line. Jeff Cirillo thinking about it. Okay, I'm going. The relay throw coming in. This one a little bit high. Past Guzman, Cirillo would score. Rockies get 125 RBIs from Helton. Here's Bonds, ding-dong, pitch dead. A sinker that didn't sink, said Jennings. He knew it right away. 5.52 for Bonds. It's 2-1. In the 6th, still 2-1. Colorado, 2 outs, 1 on. Juan Uribe having a pretty good year. 3rd home run, 4-1 Rockies, a 2-run shot. Kirk Reeder's really struggled lately. Bottom of the 8th, 4-1 Rockies. 2 out, 1 on for Bonds against the nasty lefty Mike Myers, and he got him swinging. The Rockies take care of San Francisco by a score of 4-1. Only 4 hits in the game for the Giants. The Rockies bullpen was very effective. 2 innings pitched, only 1 hit. And again, Reeder has lost 4 straight decisions. That has got to change. Inside this series, the Rockies, in fact, just wrapped up a 13-game road trip. They won 7 of those. Uribe's been very good, not only this series, but on the trip. He's hit .296.
Well, Uribe has done very well filling in. They made the trade, but Uribe, it's turned out with Ortiz to be a very interesting young double play combination. He had more RBIs in his first month than any month in Perez's history.
Not going to get any easier for the Giants because they have Arizona at home starting on Tuesday. Wild card race continues. The Cubs, Sammy, wondering what in the world has gotten into the... Well, they weren't going to get anything in the bat. A lot more people cheering and standing for Sosa than the hometown Marlins. And Matt Clement was firing every which direction against him. Finally, he gets wild. Young would score from third. Sosa's got a walk. It's 1-0. Marlins trying to get some runs against a guy, Jason Bray, who pitched a complete game against him in his last outing.
Well, Derek Lee sits on the right field, but the governor makes a great play. I mean, base runners don't run a lot. Sammy's arm has come back. I mean, here, runners on the corners for Charles Johnson, fly ball. I mean, that's obviously shallow right field, but he's on the run. No way he's going to go.
A 5-tool player, folks. Michael Tucker just leaving. 3 hits in the 3-hole for Tucker. The Cubs go up 3-0. He's got 11 home runs this year. Let's go back to Sosa in the 5th, looking for his first hit of the game, and oh, there's that home run trot. But big fish Cliff Floyd denies him. Probably wouldn't have gotten out. Sosa 1 for 5, 2 Ks, and he left 5 on. Good to see Augie Ojeda swinging a hot bat down the right field line. The crime dog comes in. Ron Coomer's also going to score. Ojeda, a home run shy of the cycle, and the Cubs, who make it 7 of their last 9, win it 10-2. Good game for Rondell White, too. He comes back, and unlike years past, he says, you know what? The games mean something. He had 3 hits, too many walks for the Marlins. 4 pitchers gave up 9 total. Tony Perez and the crowds rooting for the Cubs. Not a good feeling playing at home and having most of the fans cheering against you. So he doesn't go deep in this one. Home runs needed for Bonds, 12, 24 games left, and Sammy Sosa needing 17 with 25 left. Sosa, of course, hit 17 in the month. He just did it in August, and he also hit 20 in the month. He did it in June of 1998. Here's your wild card standings up to date. 2 losses separate the Giants and the Cubs. The Dodgers are right there. And Bud Smith's Cardinals. This Bud's for you this evening, just 3 games back in the loss column. And let's talk about the Chicago Cubs. It's a difficult team to buy into because of their history. Obviously, their starters are pretty good, and they're getting some guys. I mentioned White back, and that helps.
Yeah, you get White back. You got Miller finally back. Todd Hundley starts swinging the bat a little bit better over the weekend. Those are all good signs for them. It's going to be very interesting now. They got John Lieber going up against one of the most heralded rookie pitchers to come up since Kerry Wood, namely Josh Beckett. But Friday, when Kerry Wood comes back, I think that's a huge key to this, just because he is such a great talent, and he's one of those guys that we all want to see at all times.
Right.
If he comes back and pitches well, this is a great race. Don't underestimate the Cardinals, though, because as the Cardinals move on, the Cubs and Astros play each other the last 2 weekends of the season. 7
of the last 10 Cubs and Astros go together. Another reason the Cardinals believe they're still in this. They have 6 left with Houston. I think they're done with Chicago, so they believe that the Astros and Cubs can beat each other up, and they may be able to sneak in the back door. No sneaking about what happened on Monday night, though. Bud Smith, a no-hitter, folks, for the St. Louis Cardinals. We'll have much more on that in a little bit. The 21-year-old left-handed rookie does it for the St. Louis Cardinals as they take care of the Padres. On deck here, Joe Torre rested almost half his starters. You'd think Toronto would have a fighting chance against him. Peter and I are conformists. We take our ear and nose rings out before the show, everybody. Weird gems on the gems others wear.
I don't want my earrings, keeping you from being able to read the shot sheets.
And the web gems are ahead, too. Up next, the House of Horrors. Rather than replacing Fenway, they're just going to remove different items one by one. That story's next.
Baseball Tonight is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Life tastes good.
Hi, Baseball Tonight continues. The Devil Rays and the Mariners, Lou and company, 1 win away from clinching a playoff berth. Hosting the Devil Rays, Randy Wynn taking Moyer to left center field all the way to the wall. And what an effort by Cameron. Goes off the wall, give Wynn a double. Tyner scores. Devil Rays go up by a score of 1-0. They're loaded for Seattle, down 1-0. Mike Cameron, and they've done this as well as anybody. Getting runners in when they had to. Is it deep enough? Well, with Ichiro on third, a shot to shallow right is deep enough. It's tied at 1. Stayed that way for a while. Jay Buhner, first at bat at Safeco this season. Y'all know about being bad to the bone. He's got some things with bones now and feet, and he doesn't want to talk about them. He flies out to shallow center to end the first, so it's still 1-1. In the second, same score, first and second, Chris Gomez. Watch Brett Boone at second. Catch it. Did he get? Oh, close play.
He is still a magician at second base.
Double it up, still 1-1. Stan Javier swinging a drive, and that's a line drive double play. 1-1 through 5, but the Mariners got all sorts of threats going right now. Bases are loaded with one man down, and Paul Wilson is sweating a little bit out there on the mound. We're just having a good game, 3 for 3. Moyer's been as effective as any starter they've had, looking for his 17th victory, and there's a chance he's going to get his runs real soon. By Cleveland and Chicago, the last Indians rookie to win at least 15, Herb Score. We'll see if Sabathia can do that. His opposition in this one early on, now Ellis Burks gave him some runs. He ends up on second. It was ruled a hit off of Carlos Lee's glove. 2 batters later, men on the corners, T. Fryman to right, Magpipes. He lost it in the lights. Ellis Burks scores with a play. Try Pride up 1-0. Bottom 3, White Sox up 2-1, 2 out. Jose Canseco. Seen Ricky Henderson steal a bag. There goes Jose. Fairly legitimate steal. 200th of his major league career. 9th player with at least 400 homers and 200 steals. Peter?
Well, CC Sabathia in a little trouble. White Sox up 2-1, runner on second, 1 out. Josh Paul.
My goodness.
Gets the ball, a little problem of communication there between Juan and Kenny. But it's 3-1, but he runs in a little bit more trouble. Josh Paul's around at third. But Sabathia gets out of the inning, striking out the very difficult Carlos Lee. It's one thing about this kid, Carl, he's very resilient.
Here's Robbie to first, and somehow Konerko let that one get past him. Vizquel would score. Tribes within 1. It's 3-2. 3 batters later, men on the corners. Ellis Burks, exit, stage left. Clutch home run. Big time of the year. And Ellis Burks hits his 24th of the year. It's 5-3. Sabathia, Herbert Perry. No parking in the visitor spot. In fact, you can't unload luggage. You can't do anything out there. Sabathia wins his 15th of the year. Indians win at 6-3.
This is amazing. In the history of the American League, there's only one other left-handed pitcher under the age of 22 that's won more games in a season than Sabathia and Chris Burns, 15. His name, Babe Ruth. Speaking of the Red Sox.
Heard of him. Indians got some other good news. Chuck Finley's throwing session went real well Monday. He's going to pitch Thursday against the Red Sox. There's Ellis Burks, 7 for 15, a home run, 5 runs batted in. The White Sox failed to get a sweep in a series, Peter. They really needed to do that. They go 2-2 in this one.
They did, but they've still done. They still have the 4th best record in the American League since May 23rd.
All right, well, I mean, the Cleveland situation obviously has to do with their bullpen because they can't figure out what to do with John Rocker. Dennis Bias has been probably the most underappreciated, untalked about guy as relievers go. You think Cleveland can get things straightened out in time?
Well, I think they can. I think Chuck Finley's start on Thursday is very important to them. I mean, Burba had 3 pretty good outings in a row, but then he got absolutely hammered on Sunday. So you don't know. I mean, it's asking a lot for Colon and Sabathia to be that good. A couple of keys. Paul Shuey, can he come back in September? That's very important. And can they find a way to get John Rocker into games and get him straightened out? But as you mentioned, Baez is the Octavio Dotel of the American League right now.
They just haven't been able to get Rocker into a situation in which they're comfortable putting him. They still believe in him. They say, listen, his track record is good enough that we're going to hopefully get him some time. Peter talked about the Red Sox situation. The players in Boston sound as if they actually could walk out, they would. Nomar Garciaparra Sunday after the pitching bullpen coach John Cumberland was let go. Nomar was seen in the locker room saying, quote, it's no wonder nobody wants to play here. And Trot Nixon, their great outfielder, also says, quote, we don't have a monkey on our back, we got a gorilla. Now, the question is, when you go back to when this thing unraveled, many believe a long time ago. Others point to Jimmy Williams firing. Others say the nail in the coffin came during that 18-inning marathon against the Rangers in which former Red Sox Bill Hasselman saved the double play and ended up beating them. And then, of course, Sunday night, a near-perfect game for Mike Mussina. The Red Sox lose that 1-0. It wasn't the massacre of 78, but it certainly served to do some damage. Here are the lowlights of their 8-game losing streak. It's the longest in a long time for them.
Well, let's face it. They've had an awful lot of injuries on that team.
Yep.
That is a factor. But the fact is, a lot of things have started to unravel, and it's part of the whole dysfunctional personality in that organization. You mentioned what Nomar had to say. A couple of other players were quoted in the paper as saying they fired the wrong guy when they fired John Cumberland. And then the Red Sox have a little tete-a-tete with the media today, and they said, well, John Cumberland really wasn't the pitching coach. We never announced that. So Cumberland worked for 2 weeks as the pitching coach, but he was never told that he wasn't the pitching coach when they got rid of him. And you have there are so many things. Pedro Martinez said, you know, I really think it probably is best for me to shut it down for the rest of the season. Dan Duquette said, paying him a lot of money, we're not going to shut him down. Our fans want to see him. Well, they'd rather see him healthy next year, but But then they've got these rules that they've instituted in the last few days.
Imagine taking it piece by piece.
Well, I mean, they have these little rules that they put in. They take out the couch. They said they needed the room. They didn't need it for 30 years, but they don't want the TVs on during the game. But Pedro comes up and turns on the TVs and says, I'll pay the fines. There are players that tell me that Manny's been saying, you know, maybe I should give the money back. I don't want to be here anyway.
I mean, it's not the Bronx Zoo, and it's not Franklin Park Zoo, which is close to Fenway Park, but who survives this chaos? I mean,
Well, we don't know that until we see what the ownership change renders and when the ownership change comes. But the fact is, this has been a dysfunctional organization in terms of human relations for a long time. They once went through 5 pitching coaches in little more than a year before Joe Kerrigan came along. This is an organization that told Mike Stanley, the single most respected player on that team in the last 5 years, that he was released by putting a message on his answering machine at home. Tells you a lot.
Dysfunctional. Good word for it. Okay, that's the Red Sox story. Let's move on. Doubleheader time, Brewers and Pirates. I think we should start with Game 1. So let's do that. And as we do, it's already 7-5, and somebody's going deep to right field, and Kevin L. Brown with 2 on is left. Number 4 in the season. They had a 7-1 lead, now 10-6, but Henry Blanco doesn't catch it, and Gary Cedarstrom does.
What do you call that, Steve? You're a big crotch.
Cedarstrom stays in the game. Kendall walks to load him up. The next batter, Robert McCoyak. Deep drive to center. Devon White on the run. At the wall. Nice catch. Aramis Ramirez tags and scores. Could have been a lot worse. Brewers go on and win it by a final score of 12-7. These two teams obviously out of the race, and they start thinking about next season. The core of that Brewers team, if they get their pitching back, is going to be strong. Richie Sexson goes 4 for 5. Jeff D'Amico, Peter, and his comeback, not what they wanted, 5 runs and 6 hits.
No, and of course the Pirates are looking at Ryan Vogelsong, one of the young pitcher they got from the Giants in the Vander Wall-Schmidt deal.
So they lose Game 1 to the Pirates, and they come back in Game 2. Jimmy Anderson. Jeez. Some concern about a 20-loss season, 6-16 entering. He gets Sexton there to end the first. 7 innings, 4 hits, and 3 Ks. Good outing. Warren Morris, Ruben Quevedo, swinging a drive to deep left center. Lou Collier diving and coming up woefully short. 2-1 Pirates. It's that same score in the 9th. With Mark Sweeney on deck. The tying went at 3rd. The Pirates are going to pitch to Jose Hernandez. You want the truth? You can't handle the truth. Hernandez, a little blooper. It plates James Mouton and ties it at 2. The pinch hitters, Craig Wilson, Chad Fox. Hey, hang 'em and bang 'em.
10 home runs, 107 at-bats for Craig Wilson.
The Mark McGwire of the Pittsburgh Pirates, 3-2. They win it over the Milwaukee Brewers. And yeah, you mentioned it. What did he get? 29 hits, 10 of them home runs. Jimmy Anderson, 7 innings, 4 hits, and an earned run, so he does not figure in the decision. Mike Fetters picks up the win. An inning pitch, 2 hits, an earned run, and 2 walks. When we come back here on Baseball Tonight, we'll talk about what happened under the sun. Yankees battle the Blue Jays. Feeling a little tired after Sunday night's great game, but they've been able to muster enough to take care of Toronto. Let's get an update on that Seattle. They have the bases loaded. They had 1 down. They have the bases loaded with 2 down, and Mr. RBI, Brett Boone, pops up. Look out. Fielded out there, and the Devil Rays get out of it. So it's 1-1 now as they're playing the 8th inning.
And Paul Wilson is on another tear. He had a great finish to last season, struggled the first half this year, pitching very well.
2 men down, by the way, for Tampa Bay as they bat in the top of the 8th inning. All right, we continue with the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Late flight from Boston up to Toronto. Mike Mussina, a little weary perhaps after that near perfection on Sunday. Sterling Hitchcock to Darren Fletcher, Enrique Wilson. Enrique Wilson's been outstanding.
He has played great defense.
A 1-2-3 inning for Hitchcock. High fly ball to right, Shane Spencer. Web gem.
Shane Spencer has a very good day in the field. Keep tuned here.
Here come the Yankee bats, 5-3 in the 8th. There's Wilson, who's done a good job with the bat. He buried the Red Sox a couple times, hurt the Blue Jays over the weekend. Soriano scores on a double for Wilson and tied the game at 5. Shouldn't say over the weekend, actually. Thursday here at him.
I mean, this lineup the Yankees had reminded one of those spring training trips to Fort Myers. Billy Koch, though, struggling in the 9th inning, walked Derek Jeter, walks David Justice, and then he hit Shane Spencer. This is Billy Koch just out of sync. And Alfonso Soriano lines it up the middle, 2 runs. First lead of the game for the Yankees, 7-5.
Here comes Jorge Posada to the 8th inning. Momentarily back to the 8th. Posada's first at bat. Paul Quantrill. They got him looking. Fastball in the inside corner. Now to the 9th. And Posada up, this time against Koch. And looking again. Punched out. Andy Fletcher, the home plate umpire, and Jorge Posada, who's seen a strike or 2 in his day, basically asked him if he's crazy. Yankees get the victory, 7-5 over the Blue Jays.
Well, there was a Shane Spencer catch there in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Saved the game, a really good play. I really believe you're going to see Spencer turn out to be a very key guy. He's kind of a Bubba Trammell hitter. He's going to develop late. He's starting to play better and better.
See, Mark Wohlers gets the win there. What role do they figure Wohlers plays?
Well, they're still hoping he can settle down and be a 6th, 7th inning power guy in front of Mendoza and Stanton and of course, Rivera.
Well, a near perfection for Mussina on Sunday night. We had a no-hitter on Monday night. Bud Smith of the St. Louis Cardinals, the 3rd Cardinal rookie to throw one, and the first since Jose Jimenez in 1999. Much more on Bud's night a little bit later. And another lefty who can flat out deal, Tom Glavine. Is he dialed in? He joined us on Baseball Today Sunday. He took the field on Monday and was terrific. We'll have the highlights of that and the Phillies' comedy of errors next.
It's Houston and Cincinnati. That means the Astros can try and shut down Ken Griffey Jr.
At 7, the first-place Astros take on Junior and the Reds. Then at 10.
It's Arizona at San Francisco. And, Joe, there's going to be some big offense in this game.
Luis Gonzalez tries to protect his division lead when the D-backs face the Giants, and Barry Bonds flirts with 70.
Bonds and Gonzalez in the same ballpark. Great action.
Astros Reds at 7, D-backs Giants at 10. Wednesday Night Baseball, this week on ESPN.
This is Carl Ravitch. You can see Baseball Today every Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPN2.
This is a big year for us to come out and prove to a lot of people, hey, we're a lot better than what we played last year.
The most analysis.
They have Clemens, they have Pettit, and they have Mussina. That's the making of another championship rotation.
The most insight from the people who know it best.
All records are judged by the eras that they're in. This is a home run era.
Harold Reynolds and Buck Showalter join me at noon Eastern on ESPN2 every Sunday.
You never know when Peter Gammons is going to show up, or Joe Morgan on Baseball Today. It's Baseball Tonight. Peter is here. Braves and the Expos. Tom Glavine was on Baseball Today on Sunday. His last complete game was September of last year in Montreal. He likes pitching here. Vladimir Guerrero gets robbed by Andrew Jones in the first. In the second, Andrew's on third. Javier Lopez on first, and Ray Sanchez to third. Mordecai, good speed down the line from Jones.
Great piece of base running by Andrew Jones there. Great anticipation. Now, Mordecai apparently thought there were 2 outs because he never looked back. Just scoops up the ball, takes his time, throws to first. Whoops. And then Javier Lopez, 4th inning with 2 on. Now that, Carl, is a very good sign. His 15th home run of the year makes it 4-0. He's starting to get hit. And then the Expos have a little defense off Marcus Giles, Orlando Cabrera, who is one of those really good, underrated, underappreciated players.
Playing in Montreal. Tom Glavine, and what he does, as well as anyone, works the corners.
Well, You know, do you feel that we're watching this Bud Smith thing again now? Look how in, out, out, and then change up. He just got Vladimir. He ended up just dumping him down.
How about Brian Jordan playing a little defense? Jose Vidros at first. He's not at first anymore. He's rounding third. Jordan's got a cannon from right, and the throw would be there in about an hour's time to spare. Then in the bottom of the 8th, Vladimir trying to stretch one. He's thrown out. Bottom 9, Lee Stevens up against Glavin. Falcons may need a quarterback at some point. Maybe Jordan comes out and plays. Braves win at 5-zip. Glavin a complete game, 7-hitter. 5 Ks, no runs. And that was about as good as Glavin has been all year.
Yeah, but it's September, and Glavin and Maddox expect to be good at this time of year.
Andrew Jones goes 2 for 2. You see Julio Franco, who continues to struggle, but maybe he'll turn around. Who knows? 0 for 3 with a .182 batting average.
Well, you know, those kids like that, they sometimes don't start too quickly.
You just got to spray some of that oil. That joint's cranked up again. Mets and the Phillies, bottom 1, 1-zip. Bruce Chen, Jimmy Rollins is up. Driven to right. This is like the Bobby Valentine game with Chen on the mound, and a great play by Matt Lawton out there. No runs for the Phillies in the first. Chen, Pat Burrell, Alfonso.
Oh, is that a good sight for the Mets?
1-0 Mets through 2. He's been invisible this year. In the 4th, they're up 3-1 on the Philly cheesesteak. You get a meltdown here.
Well, Todd Zeile up, pop up into shallow left. Rollins, Burrell. The Indians stole that play from the Phillies playbook. Same inning. 3-2 Philly, 2-1 Ray Ordonez. Chopper in the hole between first and second. Kevin Jordan. Randy Wolf just got lost in this.
Took the wrong route, you're right.
I don't know whether there's no way to read his mind, but he just got too wide a route, and he got too far behind and couldn't get to the throw.
Well, now Zeile's up. Shinjo's moving from first. The Chopper, the throw would go to first, and Shinjo keeps going to third. This is scary because he got away from Rollins, who was over there. It's tied at 3. Shinjo scores. Shockingly, Bo hasn't been tossed out yet.
No. Well, the Phillies have now made 7 errors in 2 days. Shinjo was stealing on the play. I mean, that's great base running, but just not a good throw.
Here we go.
Uh-oh, Jose Mesa.
You know what happened Sunday? An error in the 9th inning meltdown cost him and Mesa. On Monday, it wouldn't fare much better. The base hit against Zeile. This baby's tied at 7. Blown save, Jose Mesa. And he's been one of the more reliable closers in baseball. Todd Pratt comes in to catch in a double switch. Santiago throws a ball. Pratt throws it back. You got to wake up out there. It got away from him.
He thought it was a strike. It looked like a strike, but oh no. Youthful exuberance.
But Larry said afterwards, we played young. And that's, again, what he was worried about. Their inexperience.
I can't ever remember seeing this in a pennant race. I mean, Santiago just was dazed and confused, as Jimi Hendrix would say.
4th error for Philadelphia. And that's Larry he's got the words to Jimi Hendrix going in his mind there. 10-7, the Mets win it. Piazza continues to tear up every time he goes to Philadelphia. 3 more hits, a double and 2 runs, and you see the Jose Mesa numbers, 4 earned runs. Little perspective, perhaps, from the manager?
We have not played a game like that all year. Getting picked off, throwing to the wrong base, miscommunication, throwing balls away.
It's tough to swallow. This one's, not sitting well right now with everybody. We had that game, 2-run lead going into the 9th. Everything, seemed to be in our favor, and things went bad. Nothing you can do but come back the next day.
Well, there is some innocence that tends to go along with youth, and perhaps they'll be able to put it behind them. One game may make a season, but in the short term, you can't look at it that way. You see the last 2 opponents' 9th innings against the Philadelphia Phillies. The Expos and Mets sent 18 to the plate. And again, I talked about Jose Mesa, and he had been fairly reliable. This is a bit uncharacteristic for him, and clearly you're going to need a guy like that if you're going to be in this league.
Well, he had been absolutely dominant. Yeah. I mean, he had 28 consecutive appearances going back to June, in which he had not allowed a run before Sunday when he came into a 2-2 game and gave up 4 runs. That's what was so disturbing. You said, hopefully this doesn't carry over, but it did. I mean, this is Sunday's game. Tim Raines scoring after the Cabrera line drive up the middle. And then Monday, Phillies lead 7-4. I mean, this is one of those things, you know. I mean, relievers can have a great year, but they can have one bad week.
Right.
And this is a bad time for that one bad week. I think what the Phillies have to do is just say, look, we've had all this stuff happen. The youthful, we saw the San Diego play was not too good. Mesa's had a little implosion here for 2 days. This is only September 3rd. Let's get it out of our system. Let's grow up and move on. We have the better schedule than Atlanta. We have very good everyday players. We can just get this thing back. And you know, Jose Mesa has lost games before in his life. He knows he can come back from it.
Coincidence, opening day, Memorial Day, Labor Day, those are the days that Jose Mesa has struggled. But again, there is the perspective that you need, and perhaps Boa, because of his experience, can give it to him.
Yeah, and they just have to not get too excited at this point. But one thing about it, as one very noted producer said earlier, if the next one he blows is on Columbus Day, the Phillies fans will be very happy.
That would be a very good thing for the Philadelphia Phillies. All right, Peter and I continue on baseball tonight. When we return, a lot of people hopping on the bag wagon. Houston has been on fire lately. We'll get the Astros story. Peter and I return with baseball tonight. Astros and the Reds, top two, no score. Ron Vallone dealing, Ruben Rivera, blast off. Hard hat. Rivera's got 10. In the fourth, they're up 2-0. Elmer descends is on the hill. Here's Bagwell. He always talks about going to right, Peter, when he's hitting the ball well, and we saw it on Sunday. We see it here again. Number 35 on the season for Bagwell. Had a huge RBI on Sunday at 2-1. Pokey Reese off the wall. Todd Walker is going to try to come around and score. And he was slow enough going in the third. Stop. Kimmed it home.
Well, this is nicely done by the Astros. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Todd Walker here, but Lance Berkman gets rid of it quickly to Jose Vizcaíno, gets rid of it quickly to Brad Ausmus, and he's out easy. Trying to make something happen. What happened was not good.
Octavio Dotel hasn't given up an earned run since the first week of July. Pokey Reese bloops one in the center. Dotel throwing over. Bagwell let it get by him. Reese goes to second. Two batters later, it's Calvin Pickering.
A Calvin Pickering sighting.
In the left it goes. Reese. And the Reds slide in with a 3-2 win. Dotel scoreless streak is snapped and give Octavio Dotel the loss. Don't know that he's going to lose sleep over that. He's been so good this season. Reese goes 3 for 3 in the game. Bagwell's hit was the home run. That was the only hit he had in this one. And by the way, a note in the lower left. Ken Griffey, after starting so horribly, has the average hitter at 300.
I mean, you start thinking about it, and I know Jim Bowden has said it. There's a possibility that in another year, Griffey and Adam Dunn could hit 100 home runs between them.
How scary would that be? Let's take a look at the National League Central race right now, and you see the 3 games back in the loss column. The Cubs are to Houston. We touched on at the beginning of the show the fact the Cubs and the Astros play, as Peter said, the last 2 weekends. 7 of the last 10, they meet head-to-head. The Cardinals will figure in this one as well. All right, so we have a no-hitter on Monday. We also have some things to look back on that aren't exactly web gems. Peter Gammon's favorites. In fact, he came up with the idea of the weird gems. They're next. Welcome back, everyone, to Baseball Tonight. Weird gems, those plays or thoughts or things that happen. I mean, Phil Nevin actually broke up Randy Johnson's no-hitter on Sunday, and then he ends the no-hitter bid twice this season, including Bud Smith's on Monday. But that's just sort of the strange. You have the real.
Well, I mean,
you're better at this.
Yeah, I mean, this is the first time I've ever seen 2 teams try to have a fight over an earring. But this was when, of course, a week ago Saturday, when the sun was reflecting off. And boy, my God, my wife doesn't have any earrings that big, diamond earrings.
Arthur Rhodes.
A near fight. Now, this is a great one. Bobby Bonilla strikes out. And that enables the Cardinals to score 2 runs, which they happen to win the game by 16-14. The bat went flying. Throw to third. Third baseman's ducking. And here's something. Mike McFarland and I have seen, I don't know how many games. I've never seen a 5-2-5 double play. Shea Hillenbrand made a great play diving with the bases loaded. Left-handed hitter going the other way. 5-2-5. And then this play today. In a pennant race. Mr. San Diego, I think you want to be more away. And then exuberance. Jimmy Rollins goes after it and fires the ball. Larry Bowa hadn't seen that one either. And this is a great sighting, 43 years old. I mean, I think we might have seen this during the Lyndon Johnson administration. Julio Franco diving for a ball, but there it is. Just a little Julio Franco redux.
And the Weird Gems. A little later, the Web Gems. Also ahead of us, the A's. They've been Gems. They'll have their story against the... We thank you for watching Baseball Tonight. Carl Ravitch and Peter Gammons, the O's and the A's, and the Orioles are batting about $1.70 as a team over their last 10. And it's not going to get any better when Tim Hudson's dealing the way he was. Miguel Tejada helping out in short, inning over. Bottom three, 1 out, 1 on. Johnny Damon to center field. Willie Harris going back. Good play, and then he wakes up and fires to first, and Menachito's doubled off.
Well, one of the fun things for the Orioles in September is to see some of these young players. Harris, nice play, picks them off. And one great thing about Baltimore is they will accept those young players.
You talked about other good signs for teams. You mentioned Javi Lopez for Atlanta. How about Eric Chavez and the way he's hitting lately?
Well, he's hitting like crazy. 23 home runs. I think he's the best defensive third baseman in the American League right now.
They're up 2-zip. Conine just checking out. Next batter, Tim Hudson, Tony Batista. Game, set, match there. Melvin Mora breaks up a perfect game with a single on the next at bat, so he took that into the fifth. Now in the sixth, he's angry. Chavez. Peter, point proven. In the sixth, second and first, 2 outs. A's are up 3-zip. Terrence Long on the ground to second. Hairston in the hole. Good cover at first, but not in time, and Dye scores from second. The A's go up 4-zip, and they hang on in the win by a score of 4-2.
So now Tim Hudson and Mike Mussina are tied for the highest number of quality starts in the American League, 21 apiece.
That Cy Young race, despite Clemens' 18-1 mark, is going to be phenomenal because Mulder's right in there too.
Mulder's right in there, and frankly, as John and Joe are pointing out on Sunday night, so is Mussina if only he had any run support.
Hudson, Peter talked about his marks. He's 47-15 in his career.
He's the winningest pitcher in the American League since he came up from the minor leagues in June of 1999.
And that's why the American League playoffs are going to be so good. The A's have won 8 of 9. More to do here. We go from near perfection from Oakland to no-hitter, St. Louis.
The last no-hitter by a National League left-handed pitcher, 1880. Lee Richmond, Worcester, Ruby Legs.
Welcome back, everyone, to Baseball Tonight. 7th inning stretch time, and Bud Smith probably stretching as we speak. 21-year-old rookie, and through 7 innings, you wondered if he was going to be able to complete his no-hit bid. He had thrown 70 pitches on his way to 134. Those who watched ESPN on Sunday night witnessed Mike Mussina take a perfect game into the bottom of the ninth with 2 outs and lose it. Bud Smith took a no-hitter in the ninth. He wouldn't lose it. Good job by Mr. Smith of the St. Louis Cardinals. Through 5 innings, this has been a trend for the San Diego Padres. A.J. Burnett, you remember, did it and completed it. Curt Schilling, May of 26, went 7 2/3. Bud Smith gets the job done. The Padres, by the way, have never thrown a no-hitter. The final out.
Ground ball. Bud Smith's got it. No-hitter for another Cardinal rookie.
It's incredible. Pitch a no-hitter in the major leagues anytime, especially when you're a rookie, and especially against a club like San Diego. I mean, they scored more runs than we have. They got an outstanding hitting club, but I mean, Bud Smith was just incredible.
He kept the ball down real well. You know, whenever he kept the ball out, they took real good swings at it. But, you know, we were fortunate, you know, that for most of the part, he kept the ball down. It was a lot exciting. And he moved the ball in and out. And like I said, you know, he had a real good changeup today, and I think that's what kept him in the ballpark.
Well, it's frustrating. I mean, sometimes you got to tip your cap to him. It's just unfortunate for us it's happened twice in the same year. But, you know, he did a hell of a job and kept us off balance. I think that's what did it for him, you know, for the most part.
Well, he mentioned this is the second time. The Padres are the 4th team in history, the 4th to be no-hit twice at home in a season.
Oh, it still amazes me that the National League hasn't had a no-hitter by a rookie left-hander since the Worcester Ruby Legs in 1880.
Also on Monday, Barry Bonds did this. 58th time this year he's left, 12 shy of that magical number 70. 4-1. The Rockies did beat the San Francisco Giants. And you'll see Barry Bonds at-bats live on Baseball Tonight Tuesday when he comes up during the 10 o'clock hour and when he comes up then again during the midnight hour. Not going to be easy against the Arizona Diamondbacks. He'll face Witt, Curt Schilling, and Albie Lopez. We'll return. Well, we saw a great pitching performance worthy of Web Gems. How about the guys with the gloves in the field? We'll have those when Peter and I return on this edition of Baseball Tonight.
Baseball Tonight is brought to you by Castrol GTX, the only motor oil that provides the most protection. Castrol GTX. Drive hard. Going, Gone is brought to you by Pemmican Beef Jerky. Need some help to get you through the day? Pack Pemmican Beef Jerky and you'll survive the day.
All right, roll anything, take something. Find the Web Gems. Yankees and the Jays under the sun at Skydome. Felipe Lopez steps up. Talked about it, Peter. Shane Spencer has the ability to be a very good fielder.
He does, and great catch here. He made another very good catch to end the game at the right field fence. Good day for him.
Right, left and right. Braves and the Expos, Orlando Cabrera. Pretty. He's a better shortstop in the National League.
You know, he can certainly make the argument that he should get the Gold Glove.
Mets and the Phillies, Jimmy Rollins in the right, Matt Lawton is there. All right, same game, Edgardo Alfonso. Showing a little range to his left.
The last 6 weeks, he's looked like the Edgardo Alfonso of a year ago.
And the O's and the A's. Chavez doing it with his bats. You say maybe the best fielding third baseman next to Brocious. Is Brocious there?
Well, I mean, he's been hurt this year, and Scott's also leading the league in errors for third baseman, so even though those errors are a little deceptive. Chavez has become a terrific third baseman, but I think Shane Spencer wins that Web Gem tonight.
Give it to Spencer. Log on and vote, people. Well, you'll see no Padres on this list because they didn't get a hit. Bud Smith no-hit him. And here are the guys who did leave the buildings. The return of Javi Lopez. Braves like to see some offense from him. Their offense has shown a little life the last couple of days. You see Ellis Burks coming up with a big hit for the Cleveland Indians. Out of time on this edition of Baseball Tonight. It's been a good one. For Peter Gammons, I'm Carl Ravitch. Enjoy SportsCenter and more on Bud Smith.